there was some seasons there, stretches where Manu was the second best shooting guard in the NBA.
That was a conversation.
I would go as far to say that there was some months where he was the best shooting guard in the NBA.
AKA Leroy said, "What's up, fellas? When you first started watching the game, who was a player you thought was underappreciated or forgotten about? For me, I think about Glenn Rice, Tim Hardaway Sr., guys like that."
Allen Houston,
I would say definitely that's a good one, sure. I was gonna say Alonzo Mourning though.
Allen Houston
for me,
Allen
that's
Houston for
hard.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jordan.
Nah, it's so hard, but for me, I would probably say Josh Smith.
Hmm.
I'd probably say Josh Smith. He don't get a lot of talk, like how he should, I think, because he was a hell of a player, a hell of a lefty, and I'm left-handed too, so I was always rooting for the lefties. Oh, Josh Smith or Michael Redd? Michael Redd or Josh Smith? Them two.
Michael Redd was cold. For me, it was Manu because he came off the bench. A lot of people probably wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, mess with Manu. But me as a Laker fan, whenever we played the Spurs, the player I was most concerned about was Manu Ginobili, more than Duncan and Parker. Like, he put the most fear in my heart. And then another one would be Al Harrington. I thought
my question
nice.
to you, real talk, when you talk about guys like Manu Ginobili, for example, that's your guy, that you was like, how should we have been talking about him?
I think Manu Ginobili for a good portion of them San Antonio years was at least the second best player on that team,
and the best offensive player on the team, right,
bro?
In my opinion, but you know,
you cooking with Al Harrington, though. I ain't gonna lie, you cooking with Al Harrington, bro. Al Harrington would be a gym in his.
Al Harrington could play today.
Why
I
you
think
ain't
Al
saying
Harrington would be hella nice
McDyess
today.
Why you ain't saying Antonio McDyess?
Oh yeah. McDyess because I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated McDyess because he used to bust the Rockets' ass, bro. I'm talking about
Antonio McDyess was nice when he played with
Antonio McDyess was cold as hell, bro. But that's why I didn't say him, because it's like, you kind of hate him. But hey, somebody did say Steven Jackson, bro. Steven Jackson was good as hell, bro. He just talked.
Yeah.
He wasn't better than Manu. He wasn't better than Manu. He wasn't better than Manu.
He said he was.
He told me he was better than Manu, better than Ray Allen. He wasn't. He wasn't better than Manu or Ray Allen.
No, he wasn't.
This is the thing, Chill. This is the thing,
Chill. Believe he was.
Of course, he should believe that. He should believe that. He wrong, but he should believe it though.
Yeah.
Chill. This is the thing, because there was some seasons there, stretches where Manu was the second best shooting guard in the NBA.
That was a conversation.
I would go as far to say that there was some months where he was the best shooting guard in the NBA.
That's why we had what was going on. That's why we had what was going on in the Olympics.
Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, all of them guys. Yeah, ain't no way he the best shooting guard in the NBA.
But that's why we had what was going on in the Olympics.
That's
why. Because remember, they won the Argentina won the gold medal in 2004. They won the NBA championship in 2007. We get to the Olympics in 2008. Yo, Manu Ginobili, the best shooting guard in the league. What?
Chill.
Let's get to the bottom of that.
No, chill.
That's why Dwayne Wade, that's why Kobe Bryant, that's why all of them said, yo, we putting an end to this today. Because that was going on.
He was top 3.
That 100% was going on.
Yeah, I would give him top 3, but
I'm not giving him top 3. He wasn't better than Tracy McGrady. He wasn't better than Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, or Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
T-Mac by like 07.
He was better than Vince Carter.
Yeah,
Tracy McGrady in 07.
Yes, yeah, we're talking about the mid 2000s, not the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. Yeah,
Tracy McGrady
in 07 was cold as hell.
What? He wasn't what he was.
Cold as hell.
Yes, he was.
Ginobili was not better than
he was top 4.
2007.
He was top 4. He was top 4.
Maybe top 5, because I don't know. Vince Carter was good too, bro.
He was top 4. He was top 4.
No, bro, I don't know, bro.
I wish Manu would have pulled a James Harden and just went and got his own team for real.
Maybe he was top 5.
I don't wish Manu would have done that.
He was top 5. I don't know if he was in my top 3.
No, I don't know if he was
in my top 3.
Yeah, we good with Manu on the Spurs. Only Manu on the Spurs. That's the only thing we good.
You don't think Manu could have left and been a number one?
Manu could have went to any team.
No. I think he would be good, but I don't know if he'd be a number 1 like a T-Mac on the Rockets. I don't know if he can do
Real
that.
talk. Think about what you're talking about with James Harden. Okay, sure. I ain't know James Harden was 36 a game. I ain't know that. I ain't know he was 34 a game. I did not know that. No, I did not know he was that nice. But there were signs that, yo, this dude could be a 20+ a game scorer. He could
There
definitely.
wasn't signs of Manu.
It was signs for Manu for that though.
Right, but as the man,
he should have been the Finals MVP in November.
As the man.
Yes, as the man.
I think Manu easy.
What's the reason? What's the reason why not?
22-7.
I think like the idea of your own team, right? It's like
it's a lot of responsibility.
He played next to Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, but like
he played next to a hell of a team, not just them
in my, and I wholeheartedly believe this. Once you get to like 06, 07, 08, 09, like Manu Ginobili is their best offensive player. Like it's not his team because you're going to still run the offense through Tim Duncan post-ups.
Right.
And defensively, Tim Duncan's going to be a defensive anchor. But for all intents and purposes, like he is their best offensive player. So like, is he putting up 26 a game like Ray Allen did in Seattle? No. But like the signs were there that this man could lead an offense. He was already leading an offense.
Yeah, but also Mars, that's kind of hard though to say leading the offense. Like, yeah, you can lead the offense when you got Tim Duncan or you got Tony Parker. Like, yeah, but what about when you don't got them?
But why do we as NBA fans and not just fans, people in general, why do we value what you do when your team is terrible?
Yeah, this is
no.
Like,
I'm not
because the reason why, Mars, I'm glad you brought that up.
A bunch of bombs, then he puts up numbers and like makes the playoffs as the 8 seed. Why does that mean something to you?
The reason why is
Tracy
because
McGrady, Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker. What does Tracy McGrady do with them?
He wins a bunch of.
I ain't even talking about that. To answer your question, Mars, the reason why we do that,
averaging 30.
Mars, the reason why we do that, is because especially now, basketball has become very individualized, very much so. So when we see players, prime example, LaMelo Ball is starting in the All-Star game. Charlotte is at the bottom of the East. Nobody care about Charlotte like that. But you know what? LaMelo Ball is averaging 30. LaMelo Ball is 30-7. LaMelo Ball is 30-8. Cade Cunningham, even though Detroit does not suck anymore. No, they don't. We live in a very individualized society. So when a guy is getting busy, a lot of people don't care about how good his team is. Now, there's a lot of people who should care about how good a guy's team is. A guy like Manu Ginobili, who does the stuff that equates to winning. Manu Ginobili is not a one-on-one guy. Manu Ginobili is not a ball-dominant guy. Manu Ginobili's game is conducive to winning.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections in every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
This game is not just give him the ball and let him go. No, the stuff that's why it worked so well in San Antonio. If you put him in Cleveland during that time, not Cleveland because they were already good. Let me take Cleveland off the table. If you put him on a bad team during that time, I don't think it's gonna translate to how it did when he was in San Antonio.
Why does it have to be on a bad team? Why can't it just be another average?
Because the moment you have any semblance of talent on your team, all of a sudden how good you are becomes slightly less valid. Unless you're carrying a bunch of bums like Russell Westbrook in 2017. No disrespect to those players because they played high defense. Unless you're doing that, all of a sudden it's like, well, you got this help, you got this guy. So if you didn't have them,
that's not the point that I'm making. That's not the point I'm making about that. I'm just saying, I just don't think Manu Ginobili, and I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think he's a hell of a player, Hall of Fame player for sure. I'm just saying Manu Ginobili in a role like T-Mac or a role like who else we could probably say, not in a role with you playing with 2 other Hall of Famers, but you in a decent team. I don't know if Manu Ginobili has the capabilities of averaging 27 for a season. Or 25.
I didn't say 20. I didn't think.
I don't know if he can do 25. I think his cap would be.
I don't think he has to be tremendously impactful.
Because to Chill's point, he played winning basketball. He played winning basketball.
He did.
But you give Manu a partway conference squad. He can do. He can do that.
25 and 10 is crazy. I don't know.
No, I didn't say 25. I didn't say.
He said
22 and 8. He like 22 and 8. 22 and 7. He around there.
At that time,
22 and 7.
I don't know.
I mean, well, look, you could. He was. What was he averaging already?
I think
like 15.
So that's what I'm saying. If he was averaging 19, then you telling me he can't average 4 more points?
Yo, if you put Manu in a Mike D'Antoni offense, he's giving you 26 and 8 a game.
And you said
he would have been James Harden before James Harden.
You could easily give Manu the ball and go.
Obviously, but Marv,
make your numbers look cooler on the box.
But Mars, if people see him do that, then they'll be able to acknowledge how good he actually is.
I'm not saying they won't, though, Ron. And the reason why they won't, but they won't, Ron. And the reason why they won't, because we did the same thing with Sean Marion when he was an All-Pro in Phoenix. Don't forget, he did play in Toronto. Remember that he was in Toronto. He was also in Cleveland. People forgot about him when he was there, when he was on those good teams, and that stuff wasn't what he was doing in Phoenix. Wasn't the same thing that he was doing in Toronto when he was there, in Miami when he was there, in Cleveland when he was there. So no, it's not the same thing, Ron.
But who cares? Who cares if people acknowledge it? It's 6 of us up here right now, and we're the ones having this discussion. So I'm saying if Manu Ginobili, you said that he couldn't get it and go.
Man, he played
Manu Ginobili. If Manu Ginobili has the ball, you can't. I don't understand what you mean. Like he couldn't get to a bucket.
Because I wasn't here. Who said
I didn't say he couldn't get to boy. I don't think he can. I don't think he averaged 25.
Y'all act like he couldn't. You act like Manu couldn't get the ball and score off the wing with the ball.
No, he could, Ox. That's not the
2 Hall of Famers though. It ain't like he was taking a back seat to him. He was their best offensive player, like Mark said.
He was taking a back seat to him.
He wasn't taking no back seat to him.
The San Antonio Spurs offense is a back seat in and of itself.
His role changed a lot depending on the lineups he was in, and that's what made him so he was just very malleable. Like when he's on the court with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, he's now this off-ball shooter, and he's making connective reads because Tim Duncan post-ups and Tony Parker can't play off the ball as well. So then he's playing that off-ball role, and then when you put him on the court with just Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan, you're seeing a lot more pick and rolls with Manu Ginobili. You're seeing him a lot more self-creation, and then when you see him on the floor with neither one of them, you're seeing Manu Ginobili shoulder on offense, usually against some bench units, but generally speaking, in the playoffs as well, when he's on the court, on the floor without them, he's still shouldering the offense. And that offense was actually a lot better when Manu Ginobili was on the floor, just generally. I remember this because I had to do the Manu Ginobili Iverson debate. Every lineup with Manu Ginobili was great. He just changed his role a lot depending on the personnel around him because he was so good, he could do a bunch of things. So you'll see his defense was much better when he was out there with Tim Duncan and Tony. Right. Because he had a less offensive workload, so he ended up looking like an all-league caliber defender in those type of minutes. But then when he's shouldering the offense, he was a less active defender. He was still competing, he was making his rotations, but he was less active in that regard. So he just changed a lot. I always say that your stats are dependent on what's around you. Your averages are just as dependent on your teammates as they are on you. The example I use, KD on the Warriors didn't suddenly stop becoming a 30-point per game scorer. He just played next to guys like Steph and Clay, so he averaged 25. That doesn't mean he got worse. It just means he wasn't required to average 30. When you look at what he was doing in the minutes without Steph, it was right in line with what he was doing in OKC. It's just he didn't play a lot of minutes without Steph, so you don't see those averages. But if you look at it in terms of the lineups, Manu Ginobili's numbers change a lot based on who's out there with him. He was averaging per 100 possessions. He was averaging elite numbers box score wise without Tony Parker and Tim Duncan on the floor. I want to say it was maybe 34 points per 100 possessions. I can't remember off the top of my head, something like that without them. And then with them, it's 24 on much better efficiency. So he just changed a lot. Which is,
I'm also not disagreeing with that about the Manu take. I'm just saying Manu being a number 1 option on the team, getting number 1 coverage where you're the focal point. We're gonna blitz Manu. We're gonna make such and such beat you. I just don't know if certain guys just have that. Manu is a hell of a team player, hell of a star in his role. If there's an example of stars in your role, Manu Ginobili would be that. I'm not saying he couldn't do it as far as being a number 1 guy. I just don't think the team would be good with Manu as a number 1 guy without guys that's on a Hall of Fame level like Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. You got Tony Parker's one of the most underrated guys that has played in the NBA. Very, very underrated.
What would he look
You
like?
take-
What would Ginobili look like running with Luka?
I mean, why
They'll
Luka
get-
though? Like that,
they'll
that's,
get
that-
busy.
that's
He
all
looked
I
That's
know.
all I
like
know
the
is
best
they
player
were
on the team. That's what he looked
busy.
100%.
That's
No.
But wait,
all I
but
know.
Jordan, why?
No,
Jordan-
Mars, don't do that. Mars. That's crazy, Mars.
But Jordan, why
That's
wouldn't
crazy.
why y'all act like when Manu was on the floor because just because he didn't start then he didn't play heavy minutes. You acting
No,
like
he
when
didn't
Manu
play
was
heavy
on,
minutes. He played
yeah,
30
but hold on,
minutes a game.
hold on. But you're acting like when Manu was on the court, he wasn't getting guarded like that. Like you act like they weren't
He was all over the
scouting for
scouting
Manu.
report. He was
You know
all
what I'm saying?
over.
I didn't
You
say he
act
wasn't
like-
all over the
like-
scouting part, but
No, but hold
he
on,
wasn't getting
I
guarded like
know
how he
you
would as the
didn't.
number one option.
Why not? He was the number one option on offense.
Because you got Tim Duncan is getting guarded like that. You got
Yeah,
double
Tim Duncan-
TD in the
Tim
post.
Duncan always got guarded by bigs. Manu Ginobili was being guarded by the primary perimeter
For
defenders.
sure.
Yeah, so
Ginobili-
you're trying to sell me, Jordan. You're trying to sell me that defenses weren't worried about Manu
I think
Ginobili
Manu
when they
Ginobili was the
were.
Finals MVP. Manu Ginobili was being guarded by Tayshaun Prince, the same guy who was responsible for guarding Kobe Bryant in the year before. Was guarding
Right,
Manu
so
Ginobili.
that's my
And
point.
Manu Ginobili
Why are you
tore
acting like he wasn't being guarded like a number one option? You're making it seem like Manu was just a second thought to the defense.
That's not what I'm saying.
And
That's
that was
not what
not.
I'm saying.
But that's what
it's
you
easy for y'all to
implied.
say
Jordan. That's
that.
what you
No,
implied.
But that's easy for y'all to say that when you got Tim Duncan and
It's
Tony
easy to
Parker
say that
on
when
the
it's
team.
the truth, bro. It's
Yes, but
easy
you
to say
got
that when
Tim
it's the
Duncan
truth.
and Tony Parker on the team. Come on now, like you talking about
Bro,
guys two first
it doesn't
ballot
matter
Hall
who's
of
on the team. Just to Mars's point, it doesn't matter. Tayshaun Prince is guarding Manu Ginobili.
Mars,
Yes,
I had to
but
deal. Whoa! Tim Duncan had to deal with Ben Wallace and
I
Rasheed
didn't
Wallace
say
down
what
there.
is that? What
Nobody
does
is
that have to do?
denying that. That has
What does that have to
nothing
do with Manu
with-
Ginobili?
Well,
What
we
are you
did
talking
a
about?
double, bro.
My
Send a
point
double.
was
What does that have to do with Manu
because of the
Ginobili?
positions they play. Tim
Sure.
Duncan is going to get guarded by bigs that were never going to guard Manu anyway. It's not like Tim Duncan was taking away the guy who would naturally guard Manu. Ben Wallace isn't guarding Tim Duncan instead of Manu Ginobili. He was going to guard Tim Duncan. Rasheed
Sure.
was going to guard Tim Duncan because that's
Right.
the position they play. The best
Right.
perimeter assignment, the
Right.
Raja Bells of the world, the Shane Battiers of the world,
Yep.
the Tayshaun Princes were
Yep.
guarding Manu Ginobili. The best possible defenders for the perimeter were the ones guarding Manu Ginobili.
Yes, but
And
y'all,
I get
but
that
y'all
point.
bring it-
And-
perimeter
but you only
assignment.
Hold
bring
on,
it
Jordan.
up
Hold on,
like
Jordan.
this.
Keep going, Mars. And I 100% get that point. And your stance was the fact that him having to deal with Tayshaun Prince and him doing what he did against Tayshaun Prince, which would warrant him being the Finals MVP.
No,
And my
he
rebut-
deserved the Finals MVP because he was the best player in the series.
And I rebut that
Mhm.
with the fact that one, Tim Duncan had to deal with way more double teams. That's number one. Number
Right, I was
two,
gonna say
Tim
that.
Duncan had to deal with Ben Wallace, who was at that point arguably the best defensive player in the game, not the best post
I know,
defender in the
arguably.
game.
I know,
He was
arguably.
arguably the
The
best
best,
defensive
the
player in the
best.
game. And on
The
top of
best,
that, and on top of that, having to stick his nose in there and battle with Ben Wallace, having to battle.
How it's way easier to send a double team to somebody on the block than it is send somebody a double out on the wing. You send certain doubles out on the wing, you screw up your whole defense. It's easy to double down on a guy that's catching the ball at the block.
I don't know why we.
I mean, we're also aware like the Spurs, I mean, the Pistons shrunk the floor on Manu Ginobili every time he was out there. So like, it's not double teams, but they were shrinking the floor. That like, obviously, like this is just the 2000, this is the mid 2000s. So the floor was shrunk.
Right.
The spacing was not good. Tim Duncan's on the low block, so Manu Ginobili's not just working with a bunch of space. So like, it's not.
I mean,
on top of that, chill. I'll tell you right now, the truth about this is the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is, Tayshaun Prince had a harder time with Manu than he did with Kobe.
I don't know if I hate that.
I mean, that's fine.
Based on just
every
those
defender
series,
is
based on
different.
just
I
those
hate
series.
Just don't.
Every
Say,
defender is
Without
different.
Tayshaun Prince, what was
Oh
harder
my
for him?
gosh.
I'd
Oh
assume
my
he
God.
would say
Don't let
Kobe
Ox,
was a more
bro.
difficult
This the
cup.
thing.
Let's
Ox
see.
is
Jordan, that's a
first of all,
fact,
Ox-
Jordan. That's a
First of all,
fact.
this the
I don't know
thing.
if I hate
Ox
that.
is
I would say
number
Manu
one Manu
Ginobili
Ginobili
did
fan.
better
Don't let
against
him
Tayshaun,
psy
but I
out
don't
y'all
know
into
if-
believing
I
this
don't think that was the
foolishness.
same thing.
Y'all watched
Don't
it.
let-
Y'all seen the series?
Don't let Ox psy
Like,
out
you don't know
y'all
how
into
easy
this
he found
foolishness.
guarding the other.
I'm saying he had more
How about-
success.
how
I'm saying he had
about-
more
how about-
success.
with you.
Mars,
I
how about
agree.
the word?
Manu
Mars, how about
Ginobili
the
had more
term? Not
success against
easy.
Tayshaun Prince than Kobe.
Yeah,
I
more
was about to
success.
say,
That's
Mars,
what I mean.
How about we take easy off the table and say less difficult? How about that?
No, but even
Oh.
then,
I'll just say
Tayshaun Prince
Manu
might have
Manu
found
had
it
more
more
success against
guarding
Tayshaun than
Kobe.
Kobe
He
did.
just did it well. Versus he might have found it
He had a
easier
less
guarding Manu
difficult
and
time
just
dealing with Ginobili than he did. Bryant.
Can I ask y'all something? I want to ask y'all
something.
something.
Than he did on Manu.
And then I think this will really clarify some things for me. Jordan, who do you think could be a better number one on the team? Of course, it's a hypothetical. A Manu led team or a Jaylen Brown led team?
As far as like individually or team-wise?
Like a better number one in that team having
individually
like
or team wise? Like individually or team wise?
I guess
team
a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that high on Jaylen Brown as number one, but so I'll probably say Manu just because because I like the way like Jaylen Brown takes some very questionable ass shots, bro. And I don't know how much as a distributor can Jaylen Brown be, so I would go Manu. Like I'm not that high on Jaylen Brown is good
all around
bro.
better. Manu all around better than Jaylen, like all around
for sure. Because if you let Manu do what Jaylen Brown does on the Celtics, and some of that stuff Jaylen Brown does on the Celtics is very ignorant, but it's like. Bro, I'm gonna take Manu. It's not for me. It's not even really a question. Jaylen Brown is scripted to do what he's supposed to do, and he does it sometimes, bro. Sometimes.
No, Jaylen Brown is dope, bro. But Manu just better.
Not a number one option. He's a good number two, but he's gonna run his mouth like he's a number one option. But he's a good number two.
Do he run his
My
mouth?
thing is though, I don't.
He definitely run his mouth.
I don't understand why we act like we haven't seen third options become competent second and first options, and like we haven't seen second options become competent number one options. And I'm gonna give you guys some examples.
Please.
Jordan was running with Scottie Pippen. Jordan retires. Scottie Pippen steps into that role and looks like he was born to be a number one option. Hold on, because I'm gonna keep going. Manu Ginobili, obviously, he didn't get the luxury of doing this, so we got to skip over him. Let's go.
No, we don't. Because we saw him in the Olympics. No, we don't. Because we saw him in the Olympics. Keep going.
Chill. The Olympics is only about 8 games.
It's different, but that's the closest you're gonna get.
That's the closest we're gonna get. So we saw him in the Olympics. Keep going.
Y'all. It was me and Rashad McCants versus everybody in the playback.
Well,
Kobe's an example. We can go with Kobe.
I was on your side, but
that might not be the best example. So let's go to some other ones. Let's go to guys like
James Harden.
Thank you, Mars. That's exactly who I was looking for. James Harden was a number 3 option. James Harden came off the bench. James Harden. We knew James Harden was good, but did we think James Harden was going to be this good? One more guy too. Jalen Brunson. Nobody, if you tell me with a straight face that you thought Jalen Brunson was going to be this good, you're just lying.
You're just lying. Not this good. Nobody, but give him his own team. You thought he was going to be something. I mean, he did the same thing with the Mavericks.
Good. He said not this good. So
I mean, not this good, but we knew it's going to be something like that.
Top 5.
He did carry. Ron, but he did carry Luka to the Western Conference Finals.
Come on now.
Yeah, but even after all of that, even after what he did at Villanova, nobody thought he was going to.
I didn't think he would be this good. I thought he could be an all-star. That's as far as I went.
But Mars, I thought he was going to be an all-star is damn good.
I thought he was going to be good. I remember when the trade was made because not the trade, when he signed the contract. This was the old Players' Choice show, the Wednesday and Sunday show. And they were asking if they thought it was an overpay. I was the only one who said no. I think this is a very good deal for New York. I thought Jalen Brunson had all-star level potential.
Yeah.
But he has a case to be the third best point guard in the NBA.
That's going on.
I didn't see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see that
coming. So chill, back.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.